Welcome to the Vent Box. This is Keisha Jackson. Let it out. Get it off your chest. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Keisha, this is KB, and I'm just calling to vent about the state of the black man today. I've just been outraged at all of the police killings going on, and it just seems to continue. And me being a young black man with dreads and a criminal record, I fear the police. Yeah. If I'm driving, even if I'm doing nothing wrong, if I see the police, I'm automatically scared. I don't want to look. I don't want to move or flinch the wrong way to give them any kind of, reason to pull me over or anything like that. It's just that it is crazy in 2020 that we're still dealing with this, with the police brutality in this black and white racial, and this racial divide. It's crazy, and it just infuriates me. But it also makes me scared because, I have younger brothers, younger siblings and nephews, and it makes me feel like, well, what's going to happen to them? Yes. And it infuriates me.
Well, let me say this to you, KB. I'm so sorry that you feel that way. I'm a mother of a son that drives, that is of driving age. And so I definitely feel your pain. It's not a secondary thing for me. I feel it firsthand because every time he walks out the door, I'm concerned. Because these days, it seems like it doesn't take much. It seems like it's I guess because of what's going on with all the protests, it feels new to a lot of people, but we already know with our community, this is not new at all. But I think there's tension on both sides. And the police are being called to accountability, and the citizens are, and it feels like with them being held accountable, there seems to be even more. Like we're seeing a lot more of it in a shorter period of time. You know what I mean? Because it's almost like they're tense and they're worried about it. But I don't understand why there hasn't been some sort of a meeting of the minds with the police officers, from your sheriff to the head of the departments to say, hey, this is a very tense situation. We need to walk with ease. We know that everyone is really tense right now. And I feel like they should have compassion for them, but it doesn't feel like they do because they're on the defensive.
It doesn't feel like that at all. It seems like, I feel like every officer, really no matter what color you are right now, is under the microscope. Yes. We're fine-tooth combing every officer and making sure, we don't feel, if we feel violated in any type of way, then we're gonna react. Yeah. And so it's like all of the officers now, it's like it's almost common sense to, okay, let me approach this situation with ease. Let me think twice what I'm doing. It's like there's.
You would think.
That's what it should be that, but I don't understand why it's not. And who doesn't see that? I don't get it.
Well, first of all, where are you from? What city are you calling from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
You are in Atlanta. So there's a lot going on here in Atlanta. So
yes.
What is a typical day? Like when you wake up, how do you move? What are you feeling like since the protests start? Like, first of all, are you participating in the protests?
Yes, I am participating in the protest. The latest protest that I participated in was on this past Monday. We marched from the Richard B. Russell Federal Building to the Georgia State Capitol, and that was put on by the NAACP.
Okay.
The Atlanta branch of the NAACP.
So have you felt tension when you've been in the protests?
I felt tension. Just seeing all the officers. Mm-hmm. First of all, seeing so many blue lights in cars and police cars is scary.
Yeah.
In itself.
Of course.
For a black man and a person of color, any person of color. Right. And just seeing that, and it's just like, wow. And so there's a bit of tension, but there's also kind of a bit of ease because you figure, you're with hundreds of other Black people, and
Yes.
you're like, so okay, so they may have a little bit of sense and not to do something, but as we've seen before, they've tear gassed and they
Yeah.
they've shot the flare, the boom can, whatever those things that explode, and it's just like that is crazy.
Doesn't it feel like you're looking through a history book at the 60s again?
I feel like at any moment that they're gonna bring a big water hose and hose us down. It almost feels like I should walk to the restaurant and see a sign that says for whites only. Yeah. No colors allowed. Yeah. It's crazy. KB, I think it's important that mental health is very important, especially when we have, like, society is dealing with a lot of stressful moments. Like it's surrounding us. And so when we wake up, we see it. When we go to bed, we see it all throughout the day. It's all over social media. And as I mentioned to someone the other day, there's a temptation to turn it off because you need to for yourself, but then it's hard to do so because you want to keep up with what's going on and you want to make sure that your people are safe. And, do I know anyone that's out there? So, I can only say, do what you can to try to keep your mental state in a place of calm, because I feel like it can creep up on us at any time. And I mean, when I'm talking about it can creep, I'm talking about just racism in the grocery store, at the gas pump. You don't really know what you're going to encounter and when you're going to encounter it. And I think that it's really important that you don't pop, because that pop can happen and we can't see it coming. Yeah.
And so your mental load is incredibly, incredibly important. And you have to do what you can to try and pull back sometimes, take a deep breath, maybe take a day off from the protest and resume, but you have to try and pace yourself with it because it's all consuming.
And there's another level of worry that comes along with that as well. And that's because of the pandemic.
Yes.
That's another layer of worrying that, on top of worrying about my life as a Black man, and on top of worrying about making my voice heard and marching and protesting, I'm also have to worry about there's a virus going around, COVID-19 that's killing us. Yes. More so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you at least being safe? Do you have your mask when you're protesting? I always wear my mask when I protest. I always make sure that I have my mask on at all times during all protests. Do you feel like the people around you are, for the most part, are doing the same, or it's just kind of a mixed bag? It's kind of a mixed bag. You see people with them on, and then you see people with them off. I know here in Georgia it's not a requirement. Right. I know they're trying to make it a requirement for some places, but I know that right now it's not a requirement. So yes, it's pretty mixed. You see people with them on, and then you see people with them off, and then with all the news propaganda of the rates are increasing, and it's you don't know what to believe though. First of all, what's out here, you don't know. I mean, I find myself waking up every morning going to different websites to see how consistent it is across the board, and sometimes there's a stark contrast between what this person is saying and what that person is saying. So the only thing that you can do is stay safe. I mean, at this point, all we can do is our best, but we do want to feel like we're doing something. So I understand you getting out there and protesting, and I commend you for that. I think we all have different positions in this, and some of us are to protest, some of us are to fund, some of us are to, make sure that we are writing letters and on the courthouse steps, every week to make sure we can get bills changed. We all should stand in line and vote, and we all have different positions in this, and just please stay safe no matter what you do. I will. I really appreciate you letting me vent. It helped a lot. Yeah. And call back anytime. I will. All right. Thanks, KB. Thanks for checking out the Vent Box with Keisha Jackson. You can catch it every Wednesday, so please subscribe and follow Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter at Vent Box Pod. That's Vent Box Pod. And if you need to vent, please shoot me an email at ventboxpod@gmail.com or give me a call, 404-941-0338. See you next week.